Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jain Khadilkar on behalf of IMC and IMC Navi Mumbai Committee. I welcome you all for this very important interactive session on GST. GST or any tax is a part of our life. Indirect tax, one can call direct taxes, all income tax and other taxes we are paying, as we know. This is a indirect tax, but it really impacts in the industry and the individual in the nature. So this is the first of our series. We are starting with this um, interactive session on GST. Today we are termed is a GST Pathshala. This is a kind of a new learning for everybody. Some hidden things which probably we are not known or superficially we have learned. Probably we have to share our ideas and get more information from our expert, Sir Natarajan, who's a good friend of mine. He stays very nearby, so I get privileged to get any consultation very easily. But now he is addressing the crowd online and offline, so I think people should take benefit of it. I'll just talk about something about GST which I know and to could be on behalf of all you all. So GST has been implemented since July 2017, and it is a big change in the Indian kind of a tax reforms one can call. So there are always two sides of a coin. So here also we can talk about the pros and cons of the GST. I'll just read out something I have summarized from my side. It is simplified. What is the benefit of GST? First of all, because from government side or for anybody's side, people will talk about the benefits of it, and the other side who are not beneficial, they will talk about the flip side of it. So it's a simplified tax structure and unified market. Then they have done the elimination of cascading effect as tax on tax. This improved logistics and supply chain kind of efficiency, it has been done. Enhanced tax compliance and the formalization of economy, it has happened because of the GST. Then it is a higher threshold for registration. So people were looking for the small amount and everything is to be registered. So the limit for the registration has been raised. So that is beneficial to the industry, especially small man. The composition scheme for the small businesses is has been put in place. Then there is a increased transparency, as it is, of course, it could be debatable point, but is increased transparency as far as the number of taxes which were rather levied earlier regime. Boost to the Make in India, which was the rather the term coined in this particular uh, geopolitical reasons. Make in India is a very important subject nowadays. Ease of access to the credit, that is one thing I can say always that there's a kind of a benefit from the industry point of view also, it is very essential. Then there has to be always a kind of a flip side or the negative side which people can talk about. One is the increased compliances burden, especially for MSMEs, those who cannot afford the people to keep a separate staff, or then they have to go to the consultant, and whereas so many paperwork has increased, that is what people are talking about. Technological adoption challenges, especially again from the point of view of the small man and who can keep the records. And now every panwala is also you are bringing under the GST. So naturally, the who is going to keep all those compliances and what are the changes? Who is going to convey to them? So these are the small things, especially technological challenges. Then higher tax rates in certain goods and services. Everybody is learning, I mean, reading in the newspaper that there's a lot of hue and cry about different taxes. Working capital issues due to the input tax credit delays, that is being faced by some of the industries, which is also coming in the paper for a long time. Um, Complexity of the multiple tax slabs, that is being discussed, because there are right now four tax slabs are there. So in other countries there are only two slabs. So that is this also point government is rather looking at it. From five they have come to four. So slowly but surely we are doing something work on that. Then the mandatory registration in multiple states. This is the big issue these industries are facing. So it is requested to on various forums that government should take note of this. Then the penalties on the non-compliance. And last is the impact on the specific sectors. Some like real estate and labor intensive industries have faced particular challenges in adjustment in GST, how they have to be accountable into that. So these are the few things which one can say about the pros and cons of the GST. Actually, GST has succeeded in formalizing the economy and streamlining the indirect taxation and improving the logistics. The implementation has not been without, of course, challenges. Particularly, small businesses are grappling with the compliance complexities and technological adaptations. Continuous effort on the EST Council to refine the rates and the procedures are aimed and addressing these concerns and further optimizing the system. They are still going on. I'll share some data which is just published yesterday. So this is today's update. The collection has reached around 22.08 lakh crore rupees, which may be compared with 2021-22. It was only 11.37 lakh crore rupees. In terms of percentage collection, it has improved 9.4% since 2023-24. GST taxpayers numbers have increased from 65 lakhs in 2017 to 1.541 crore as on March 2025. I wish that this initiative by IMC shall benefit especially to MSME to establish the direct dialogue and create some kind of awareness. And a strong economy backed by a large taxpayer base makes the strong foundation for our country because nation always comes first. Thanks for and best wishes for the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jainji, and I welcome everyone to this GST Pathshala session. Welcome everyone who's come physically and all those who are online with us. IMC, through its Navi Mumbai committee, is going to come up with a series of such value-added discussions. And in fact, the GST Pathshala is going to be an every fortnight affair. In fact, Mr. Natarajan has very kindly agreed to come and run his GST Pathshala every fortnight. So this is the first of the GST Pathshala. So it will be a hybrid mode always. So we would welcome to see people physically and also those who can't make it on an online mode, because at the end of the day, we want to ensure that maximum people get the benefit of it. We want the MSMEs, especially those who are in the Navi Mumbai area, since it's online, anyone, everyone can join in. But this is something we want to do a value addition to our members, value addition to the businesses, value addition to all the MSMEs here, because GST is something which you can never be a master of it. I mean, the master is sitting here, but we all as users, or we all as GST people who are paying GST, we always have queries. I think if you have a place where every fortnight there is a GST Pathshala, which even the smallest of queries can be raised, I think that's something which we will be doing good service to our businesses, value addition. And of course, as things move, we will, Mr. Natarajan will structure it in such a way that it adds maximum value. So idea is that all generic questions can be asked. If there is specific link to your particular organization, you can connect with Mr. Natarajan offline and he will then take you through that. So having said that, without further ado, I would like to first introduce our expert here, Shri Anand Natarajan, who is a BCom graduate and holding diploma in computer applications, joined the Central Excise Department as inspector and was promoted to superintendent in 2010 and assistant commissioner in 2023. He has a rich and varied experience in the department and has received several awards for the good work that he has been doing. He has also been honored by the department as Best Officer of the Mumbai Zone for his outstanding services in 2016 and 2020. He was nominated for the Presidential Award in 2019 and 2022. And he has since retired and is currently a trainer in GST and a consultant as well. So thank you so much, sir, for sparing your valuable time and actually coming here and sharing your expertise and giving value addition to the industry, businesses, and all those who will benefit from it. So I now hand it over to our expert here to take the discussions forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Janji. for kicking off the event and sir for giving a brief introduction about me. Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon, everybody. And in 40 minutes, it will be an evening. So I'll wish you good evening well in advance, right? The program for today, the initial Pathshala, what will be there is going to be, initially I will talk about evaluation of GST and the challenges that are being seen in the future. And thereafter, we'll have a interactive session with you all and the people who have come on hybrid mode. Whatever questions we have received in writing or beforehand, we will take it up first. And then we will go for impromptu questions. Even after that, if time remains, then I'll give you a few tips, since each and everybody is related to GST in this modern times, be it as a consumer, be it as a taxpayer, or be it as a business person. So to begin with, we must be thankful to the Indian Merchants Chamber to have conceived and executed a workshop on GST, as I said, which is a terminology, which not only you as a taxpayer or as a person working for a taxpayer or as a business person, even the common man today on the road has everyday experiences with GST. In those times, you could, if as a commoner, if you go on the road and buy something and take an invoice, the tax structure was not evident. You would just give you whatever it is, 300 rupees, whatever you bought. But now if you see, every tax invoice contains a GST element. And thereby, the common man knows what is the tax rate that he is paying. And then obviously comments if it's high rate, kitna government sarkar humse leti hai. Pehle wo nahi hua karta tha. They wouldn't know. They just knew 300 रुपया का ये डब्बा मैंने ले लिया है मार्केट से, PMC से. इसमें कितनी GST है या कितनी VAT है, कितना एक्साइज है, उनको मालूम नहीं पड़ता था. They thought 300 is the rate. Now they know 300 में जो 12% प्लास्टिक के ड्रम में लगता है कि 12% मैं दे रहा हूँ. So everyone is aware of that. So I must congratulate IMC on their thoughtfulness and the wonderful gesture. And I need to congratulate each one of you, the participant, online mode, offline mode, physically present here. Because as an ex-departmental officer, as sir said, I retired as an assistant commissioner of the central GST. You also know that the GST, there are few countries where there are dual type GST. The federal and the state. Canada has it, we have it. So here the states and the center jointly administer the GST. So I am from the central GST, and all central GST officers are known as central tax officers. So when you get a summons or anything or a letter, you will only find assistant commissioner or superintendent or inspector. But if you receive a letter from the state authorities, it will always be a state tax officer, additional commissioner, state tax. Very clearly they write. So we are central tax officers and state tax officers. So being an ex-departmental fellow, I am very happy that today more than 80 or 100 are attending this seminar, because even after 8 years, even in a marriage, they call it a 7-year itch. 7 years के बाद बोर हो जाता है आदमी, चाहे वो बीवी हो चाहे वो हस्बैंड हो, बोलो, because it's called a 7-year itch. But even after 8 years, you people have come here or attending online to know more about this financial reform. So once again, I congratulate you all. जयंत काटिलकर साहब ने तो बोल दिया कि 1 जुलाई 2017 से ये financial reform आई हुई है. So at the point of repetition, I have to say, the midnight of 30th June 2017, in a joint session of Parliament, this dynamic and great financial reform was brought before the Indian citizens. The legislatures sat through the night and passed this proposal even though there were disagreements and agreements, but when the act was passed, it was unanimous. And this financial reform, let me tell you, has failed in a few countries. Not all of them have removed it, some have even removed it, and it was told that this will be a failure in India because of the federal and state system here. But it has succeeded to a great extent in modern India. So as I said, the goods and services tax was passed with effect from 1/7/2017. And as he has already said before that, every business person had to meet several departments. If it were a manufacturer, he had to see the central excise inspector. He had to meet the VAT inspector. And if somebody was in the film industry, he had to meet the entertainment inspector, and so on and so forth. So with the concept of bringing ease of business, GST was introduced as a financial reform, subsuming more than 14 type of taxes. Now only certain taxes of the local authorities like APMC says, the RTO, whatever local authorities, some cessor are yet to be subsumed. Now, do you think when we are talking of evolving of GST or evaluation of GST, do you think that GST, what you are experiencing now, the form that you are experiencing now was the same when it first came? No. Initially, see, it was an act which was framed by lawmakers. It was a new act because the state VAT, mainly it is state VAT and central excise and service tax put together. So they all took a chance and they framed a law which they thought was the best. But initially there were so many problems. Initially they thought very easy. Abhi jo aap log, your accountants or your CAs or your vakils are facing is, sir, मैं एक sales return भरता हूँ, फिर मेरे को परचेस का खुद आईटीसी देता है, आईटीसी मुझे लेना पड़ता है, मुझे मालूम नहीं क्या मिलेगा क्या नहीं मिलेगा, मैं ले लेता हूँ, बाद में ऑडिट पकड़ती है, रेंज वाले पकड़ते हैं, एंटीवेशन पकड़ते हैं, और फिर मेरे को बैलेंस भरना है एट द एंड ऑफ द मंथ. Initially when it was formulated, it was thought that आप जैसे परचेज अपने सेल्स रजिस्टर में अपना सेल्स डालेंगे और आपका परचेसेस दूसरा किसी का सेल्स है, वो जब डालेगा, this would be the GSTR1. What he will do it would be GSTR2 for you. Straight away minus करके आपको भरना है तो ठीक है, नहीं भरना है तो आपके पास क्रेडिट रहेगा. That was the GSTR3. But is it there now? There is something called a GSTR3B. Now for the taxpayers, for the businessmen, they assume or they presume or they state that this is very cumbersome. No. The answer is an emphatic no. 8 years you have seen the government tweaking the acts and rules. Is it for the officers? No. It is for the trade and trade to have ease of business. Most importantly, it wants the trade to concentrate on its core business and not unduly worry about the compliances. Unduly, I say. It has to worry about the compliances. The owner needs to know, the account general manager needs to know, the vice president needs to know, but undue worry, that is why the law, the act, the rules have been tweaked from time to time again. You must be hearing experts or somebody saying, kitna 300 notification आ गया, 400 notification आ गया. हर मोड पे जहां डिफिकल्टी आई ट्रेड को, वहां गवर्नमेंट ने बिठाया. जीएसटी काउंसिल भी बैठी, experts भी बैठे, stakeholders like you were also taken into consideration, and a new branch came. That is how the first which came was the GSTR3B return, which is a very good summary of what you need to pay, what you have sold, what you have purchased, and what I need to pay. It's very clear. So over the years, despite facing numerous challenges, the goods and services tax has proven to be a resilient and duly transformative reform in India's indirect tax landscape. Let's leave direct taxes. Indirect tax landscape mein. And what is the proof of that? Why, as an expert, I say this? The figures were told by Sir. In May, the collections jumped to 2 lakh crores. Of course, it's June, it comes down. See, it is a seesaw. Always you cannot expect a particular figure to be reached. The quarter will always be maximum because you have composition taxpayers paying and some people paying quarterly. So that quarterly, if there is a aberration, that you need to worry, but there is no aberration. 1,80,000 crores is fantastic. 2 lakh crores, 2 lakh crores will be the norm now, I can say. So the consistent and robust monthly tax collections stand testimony to its success. We can, as the Prime Minister says, as Finance Minister says, I also say. Further figures. Now India, now for the future. A few days ago, you heard that India ranks 4th in terms of economy, in terms of nominal GDP. So what does that mean? India is truly going to be a superpower, Viksit Bharat by 2047 or 27, I'm not sure. And if this trend continues, and it will continue, tax revenues are expected to rise exponentially. Not in the same proportion. It's going to rise exponentially. We should be happy about it. But there are challenges. India is a very unique business system. If you have traveled to the Western countries and all, business is simple there. There is nothing called leakage and all, very rare. But here, India has to confront something called a leakage of revenue. But as the economy scales up, first, the action should be from the tax administration side. They must introspect and evolve further needs to meet the dynamic needs of the taxpayer. First thing, जो नए taxpayer हैं, they feel that the registration process is very cumbersome. In fact, nowadays it has become very tight. Why has that happened? It is because of fraudulent registrations taking place. That is the main reason. The taxpayers, the new registrations feel that this is cumbersome to the point of harassment. The department says, what to do, sir? The fraudulent registrations, we need to pick it up. And that is why we are insisting on Aadhaar and sometimes visiting and you, the owner, being present in the house. House mein kaise business karenge? They very well know that house mein bhi aap business kar sakte hain agar build to ship to model ho, lekin wo log kaise hi puchenge. So that day. But there was recently, there is a GIS module mapping which has been developed by the Survey Institute, and that is going to be integrated with the GST registration module. So it is hoped that this will mitigate the issue of fraudulent registrations. And once the trust, the government has a trust that registration में पहले जैसे आपने को दे दो, चाहिए तो हम verification करेंगे, नहीं तो नहीं. So that will really happen if fraudulent registrations come down. As he said, there are 4 or 5 rates. Sir is slightly wrong. Sir is a well-off person. He buys gold and precious stones, so he forgot the rates of those. Sir, it starts with 1% for precious stones, 3 for gold and silver, 5 for 0 is also a rate, mind you. Mill rate is also there. Then there is 5% standardized items with the poor use, 12 for items like small daily use items or pharmaceutical medicines, then 18 for most of the items. Then there is something called 28%, sir, sin goods, and there is cess along with those, some of these sin goods. Now, in that aspect, there is an urgent need to rationalize rates. I agree we have currently multiple tax rate slabs, which increases confusion, leading to leakage of revenue. And most importantly, classification disputes. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं दूध बेचता हूं तो 0% है, लेकिन मैं टेट्रा में बेचता हूं तो 5% है. समझे? अगर मैं दूध को आपके पास पहुंचा देता हूं और एक टेट्रा पैक भी देता हूं तो मैं 0 भरूंगा, बिकॉज मैं टेट्रा में नहीं डालता. तो ये सब हमारी ऐसी सोच है. सो व्हाई दिस कंफ्यूजन? स्ट्रेट या तो 5 करो या तो 0 करो मिल्क को. सो आई जस्ट टुक अ एग्जांपल ऑफ हाउ there is confusion among the tax rates and why leakage of revenue or trying to misclassify comes here. So when a move towards pure tax slabs come, it will help to create a more balanced structure and improve ease of compliance. For example, we have heard both time हम income tax के discussions करते हैं तो बोलते हैं 2% flat tax रखेगा तो compliance will come very great. It's possible. Absolutely. Wherever the rates are low and there are only 1 or 2 rates, definitely compliances will improve, and when compliances improve, revenues automatically improve. Now, certain things need to be bought into the GST system. Can someone tell me which are the products out of, you have always heard of non-GST supply. There are 5 petroleum products which are out of the GST regime. Liquor for human consumption. If it is given to a Goda, it comes under our control. If it is given for human, it is out of it. State excise is still managing that. And there are 1 or 2 commodities which have dual GST. Tobacco, excise भी लगता है और GST भी लगता है. So उधर तो problem नहीं है, GST gets its revenue. Studies and reports have said that 2 of these 5 products, state excise तो माने जो liquor है सर, वो states छोड़ेंगे नहीं, वो right. That is for sure. So that is not a subject matter of discussion during the GST council meetings at all, because that is the main area of revenue. Probably prohibition states may agree, but then liquor has to come there, so they will not agree there also. Out of these 5, this one, 2, that is the aviation turbine fuel and natural gas, that is proposed to be bought into the GST net. So if you have a fair reading of the act and the rules, it says it applies to all goods and services except 5 petroleum products, which will be notified at a later date. So the idea of the government is to bring these 5 products into this one. Last could be petrol and diesel. So if these, now as I said, these 2 are taxed separately. It is not that state excise ticket, it taxes the alcohol. Center has got no leeway on that. But these 5 products are taxed by the center as well as state. By what time? And then you don't get, because they are under non-GST, you don't get credit for that. And when you don't get credit, sir was talking of seamless input tax credit. What leads? It leads to cascading of taxes. So by bringing in at least to this one, it is hoped that revenues will increase, and whatever specific industries को increased cost हो रही है, वो जरा कमती होगा. One more idea where in the future, which can lead to increased revenues, are 3 emerging sectors. One is online gaming sector. In terms of revenue, it's fantastic. In terms of ethical and whether our bachas play, हमको डर है. That's why you have protests that they should be banned. But it's not going to be, because it's online. So online gaming, electrical vehicles, and artificial intelligence are 3 emerging sectors. But no consensus has come on the GST rates. On online gaming, it is still 28. Some courts are saying 18. Some courts are saying 28, based on the type of online gaming. Now, who is going to monitor? Where is the officer? Where is the strength to monitor? Which is a betting type of online gaming, which is a normal online gaming. So once that policy makers clarify the tax rules for these emerging sectors, all legal problems relating to those sectors will vanish, resulting in good compliances leading to higher revenue. B2C segment, it remains a case of concern. Business to consumer. The leakage, apart from fraudulent to fraudy. B2C segment, there is leakage of revenue, no doubt about it. As a lay person, when you go to the market, you have faced that. Any person will ask you, sir, bill चाहिए? बिल चाहिए तो आपका जीएसटी नंबर है, जीएसटी नंबर है तो जीएसटी लगेगी. What is it? So this leakage of revenue, of course, it is proposed to be totally mitigated by intelligence use of AI tools. So if that happens, if B2C is checked, then I'm sure this will lead to higher revenue. Is someone aware how to B2C works? आप यदि जाते हैं मार्केट में और अगर आप घर के लिए ये वाला बड़ा पानी भरने का टब मांगते हैं तो क्या बोलता है दुकानदार? सब 560 रुपया है इसका. 560 रुपया. देन यू से नहीं साहब मेरे को बिल चाहिए तो तुरंत बोलता है इस पे जीएसटी लगेगा, उसमें 18 या 12% है, बिल्कुल थोड़ा भी मेटल लगा रहेगा तो 18 हो जाएगा. तो हम क्या बोलते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग मी, अरे रहने दे यार, मेरे को क्या घर के लिए वापरना है. सोसाइटी के लिए लेता हूं तो मैं बिल लेता हूं, इंस्टीट्यूशन के लिए लेता हूं तो लेता हूं, लेकिन खुद के लिए आता है तो खुद आंख बंद कर लेते हैं. So what happens? Don't think that he has not collected the GST from you. That 560 rupees is inclusive of GST. You make a hue and cry. He will give you a bill of 560 with GST included. What happens when you go? He has a bill which contains ITC. Bill received from Nilkamal Plastic. 500 लीटर का ड्रम साहब लेके गए, कैश देके गए, जीपे भी करके गए दूसरे का अकाउंट में. जीपे दे कीप फॉर अ डिफरेंट अकाउंट, दे डोंट टेक इट इन देयर बिजनेस. पर्सनल अकाउंट में ले लेंगे, बट द बिल रिमेन्स. एंड देन दिस बिल इज गिवन टू पीपल हु वांट इट and they share the GST component. So this is a very serious problem in the B2C sector. Fraudulent and evasion start में रहता है किसी में भी, कोई भी chain में. They are a chain of people who don't pay at all. Then it's okay. They will even pass on that GST benefit to you. But when Nilkamal Plastic definitely GST भर के देता है, the wholesaler definitely GST भरता है, रिटेलर के पास जब आता है तो ये होती है. So if that segment is controlled with the help of tools, it cannot be controlled by the government organizing seminars and all. It will never happen. So that also we need to do it. The government, the policymakers need to do it. It will increase revenue. At least the persons who have want bills may not be able to purchase the bills. Lastly, I feel that it is time to introduce proactive reforms, like I already said, rationalizing rates, reducing block credits. We will talk about block credits. I know that is an industry, this one that reduce the block credits. करके बोलते रहते हैं. We will talk about that also if we have time. Expanding tax base through use of AI. There are many. I will name the sectors also. Real estate and all. The agents, they easily cross 20 lakh rupees, but they always prefer taking cash. So this through AI, if we are able to expand the tax base, most importantly, reducing procedural hurdles. And how these reforms should be coming? They should align with the domestic needs. ऐसा नहीं कि आप कुछ करो और डोमेस्टिक मार्केट या डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्री को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़े. Then what is the use? By doing this, it will boost investment, consumption, and job creation, which is very important for the youth of today. Now, 8 years have gone. I feel that more or less GST has settled. How do I say that? Deloitte conducted a survey. It conducts it every year. Certain respondents like the exit poll and all. So it is found that in 2024, 84% of you were happy with us. See, I still consider myself department. 2-3 baras jayega to know that I have retired from the department. So 84% of the persons believe that tax administration is good. It was 72 in 2023 and 54 in 2022. So this means GST Act has more or less settled. I agree there are problems in terms of compliances, in terms of verifications, and the remedies suggested by me will certainly mitigate all these problems. So with this, a small brief on how GST has evolved and what needs to be further done, I rest my case. Now, sir was saying that, and I was also saying initially that even he used the word panwalas have to be registered. I will come to that. The initial, I was part of the GST training center where people could come in. Initially, they had set up this GST Seva Kendras. So there these people, झोला लेके ऐसे ही आते थे फटे कपड़े में, बोलते हैं सर हमको रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना है. हम पूछते थे क्यों भाई, आज खाना खाया, बोलता आज नहीं खाना खाया. बैठो, we had the facility of giving water, tea and all to them. Government very well, Modi government took all these steps. उन्होंने पूछा क्यों आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन, बोलता है साहब मैं एक कॉर्नर में अंडा बेचता हूँ, उसके साथ मैं बिस्किट भी बेचता हूँ, और अगर मुझे बिस्किट बेचना है तो ब्रिटानिया बोलता रजिस्ट्रेशन ले लो. There was a, I will now call it a draconian section 9(4). 9(3) is reverse charge, many of you know. 9(5) is aggregators pay, platforms, Amazon provide नहीं करता, फिर भी आपसे charge करता है ना, that is 9(5). But 9(4) was सामने वाला यदि registered नहीं हो तो आपको उसका टैक्स भरना है on a daily basis. 5,000 से ऊपर नहीं रहेगा तो ठीक है, नहीं तो आपको भरना है. और कौन झंझट करेगा, ब्रिटानिया उसके लिए एक आदमी बिठाएगा, लिप्टन टी वाला बिठाएगा. सो दैट रिफॉर्म वेंट ऑफ, क्योंकि ये लोग 5 लाख और 10 लाख टर्नओवर वाले कहां से रजिस्ट्रेशन लेंगे और कॉम्प्लायंस करेंगे. मैं बोला ठीक है, रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना था तो आप जाते, वकील बोलते सब 2,000 रुपया लेता, मैं कहां से लूं. दिस वाज अ सीरियस थिंग. Every 3 months, reports would be asked from these GST Seva Kendras and our commissioners as to how is it going by, and we used to take up these problems. And it was removed a year later. Now 9(4) is not there except for the real estate sector. If somebody talks about it, we will take it up. So that is absolutely dormant. They have said at a later date that it will never come. Because चाय की बुक्की वाला अगर उसको लेना है रजिस्ट्रेशन तो क्या कंप्लाई करेगा. दुकान छोड़ के खाली इसके पीछे लगना पड़ेगा. रिटर्न में GSTR 1 11 तारीख को भरूं, क्वार्टरली भरूं, मंथली टैक्स भरूं, कहां से भरेगा. सो एज आई सेड, आपको लगेगा इंडिविजुअली, आपको लगेगा कि थोड़ा तकरार हुआ है, बट नो, द गवर्नमेंट हैज एक्टेड इन फेवर ऑफ द ट्रेड, बिकॉज व्हेन द ट्रेड सर्वाइव्स the revenues increase, and if revenues increase, government survive. So now we go on to our next point of today's agenda. That is, we go into an interactive session. I don't know how many queries are there in your minds, but first we will take up the queries which have come to me in writing, and thereafter I request you that this is a closed forum. Please ask your questions. Don't feel that you may be asking a silly question. Please don't. You ask. Maximum क्या है, हम 100 के बीच में रहेगा. 2 जने हंसेंगे, लेकिन उसको उतना भी नहीं आता, ये समझ के ले लीजिए. जो भी क्वेश्चन है आप पूछिए. अगर मैं तुरंत दे पाऊंगा, which I am sure I will be, नहीं हुआ तो मैं definitely I will take your email ID and I will reply by the end of the day or certainly by tomorrow. So let us take, sir, with your permission, let us take the 3 queries that have come to me. Kaustubh Gokhale ji, jo Gajanan Enterprises, I don't know whether he is on hybrid mode. He says, LIC is charging me GST on my premium. So when he says my premium, I assume it is life insurance. Okay. I requested LIC to put my GST number on the receipt as they are charging GST to me over the premium amount. अभी आप लोग के पास भी पॉलिसी होगा, किसी में जीएसटी नहीं होगा, जिसमें जीएसटी होगा, वो सर्टन पीरियड के बाद लेके आए हैं, टाइप ऑफ सर्विस के होगा तो गवर्नमेंट डिसाइडेड कि ये लोग को प्रीमियम माने जीएसटी चार्ज करना है, अदरवाइज मोस्ट ऑफ द LIC प्रीमियम्स आर विदाउट GST. They denied mentioning GST number on the invoice. He says the credit to be allowed or denied is the baby of the GST department and not LIC, as per my knowledge. It's very correct. If I'm being charged GST by a company, am I not entitled to share my GST details and ask the company to mention the same on their invoice or receipt? Now, I didn't know the purpose of this question. If it is just to see that my GST number is on the invoice, fine. Because those who are trading, dealing with GST will know that life insurance is a blocked credit. Premiums paid for life insurance is a blocked credit. Only if you are in the same line, then can you take credits. Otherwise, if you are not in the same line of business, ITC is not allowed. Now, as far as question that it is a problem of the GST कि मैं ले और deny करूं, वो बात की बात है. There are certain steps that the department can take, and it is mandated in the act and the rules and circulars and notifications. But there are certain things which I cannot do as a department. There is no rule or act which mandates. It mandates the tax invoice. If you go to the definition and there are 16 to 17 parameters, it says the GST number of the recipient has to be mentioned. And if he violates that particular provision, there is a penalty provision too. By not putting this GST number does not invalidate the invoice in any manner. That is the policy of LIC. Probably it feels कि कल मैं GST number डाल दूं और ये जनाब जाके क्रेडिट लेंगे, फिर ऐसा तो नहीं कोई क्रैंकी ऑफिसर मेरे को भी कन्वेंस में डाल देगा कि भाई गायकवाड़ साहब ने ले लिया क्रेडिट और LIC ने GST नंबर बता के ये क्यों उनके पर पेनल्टी कोई they are worried. So probably this must be the only reason, Kaustubh sir, if you are online, that I think LIC is refusing, and mostly you don't take policies directly. You have an agent allotted to you. If you are doing it online, and if there is a system, because if you go to a airline booking system, it asks, do you have a GST number? And when you put a toggle on that, it asks for the GST and then it gives you a GST invoice. If as a lame person, I asked and I say no, it just gives me an invoice charging GST. So this could be the only reason, sir. The department has no other way except when their audit happens and we find that the GST numbers of the recipients are not there, then there is a provision section 125 where I can impose penalty on the LIC. Otherwise, the department has got no means to ensure other than writing in the act that invoice numbers must contain the recipient GST numbers. I hope, sir, I have guided you properly. In case you have any other queries to that, you can directly message me and I'll certainly reply to you, sir. Now, Vaibhav Saraf Girish Verma is Vaibhav here. He says, I don't know how many persons of you, suppose there is a chemical available in the United States. Either I want to import as a trader and sell it. Either I have to import and use it for myself, or I get a client in Guyana for the same chemical and where my margin is good. I can do such business or not? Certainly. And that is why, because the particular commodity chemicals in the instant case does not enter the shores of India, it is not a supply at all. Okay, it is not a supply at all. So a trader can do such transactions, sell the goods, pick up the goods himself, or tell the seller to deliver it to his client. And whatever his commission is, he can raise the invoice. Now, when there is no supply, so the question, I will come to the question, in a merchant trade transaction involving three countries where part A is the buyer, let us say Guyana, part B is the seller, United States of America, and part C is the ordering party based in India, party C is facilitating the trade without goods physically entering or exiting India. In this scenario, is e-invoicing under Indian GST applicable to party C for the invoice raised to party A? Is GST applicable on the margin earned by party C, considering that goods do not cross Indian customs borders? Could the panel please clarify the GST and e-invoicing obligations in such cross-border merchanting trade transactions from an Indian regulatory perspective? Now, the GST Act, if you go, it applies to the entire nation of India and whatever territories it has got in its control. Upar, niche, left and right, 200. Upar tak bhi hai, niche bhi, within our waters, 200 kilometers it is territorial shelf of India. This way also, when I go to the sea, it is there. So it applies to the entire state. If you see the Central Excise Act, service tax, it did not apply to Kashmir, J&K. But now J&K, in a significant ruling, that is why J&K thodi der baad aayi. Maybe, I don't know, 2-3 months ke baad aayi, because the state legislature could not pass the act. So it applies to entire India, and it applies to taxable supplies and exempted supplies. GST Act does not apply to non-GST supply and no supply. So my answer to here is, your commission is also GST free and no e-invoicing is required. You can raise either a commercial invoice, or if you see exempted supply का meaning, exempted supply includes no supply. तो उसमें आपको bill of supply raise करना है, raise कीजिए, but don't do that. मेरा मानना है कि आप एक commercial invoice raise कीजिए. Initially, in the first, this one, there are parties who were paid because the GST department itself was very unclear on these transactions and high seas sale. Now schedule 3 में उनको लाया गया है. Only concern for me, for you, which I have advised your chartered accountant, is no one-to-one credit should be taken for such a transaction. Suppose you have appointed an agent to work out the formalities and he charges you 10 rupees a kilo. And if he is an Indian party, he will raise a GST invoice. उस GST का आप क्रेडिट नहीं ले सकते हैं. लेकिन जहां आपका कॉमन क्रेडिट है, आपका सीए का बिल है, आपका एएमसी एक्सपेंसेस है, आप रेंटल प्रॉपर्टी से चला रहे हैं बिजनेस, वो रूल 42 और 43 अट्रैक्ट होगा. लेकिन इस केस में नहीं होगा, because they have been schedule 3 supplies except sale of land and building is excluded from proportionate reversal. But it will be covered under one-to-one. So don't make a mistake. There are many firms. When I talk to you, I will give you examples also. When you sell a land, you sell the land, it is outside GST, but then you appoint an agent to send the land, and he is a big fellow. He charges you 10 lakh rupees plus 18% GST. That 18% GST you can't take. Similar is the position here, sir. तो उसमें जरा ध्यान दीजिए, 1-to-1 क्रेडिट बिल्कुल ना लें. अगर वो बिजनेस के लिए आप इंटरनेशनल जा रहे हैं और जीएसटी लगता है 20 रुपया, 30 रुपया, 50 रुपया, 1000 रुपया, वो ना लें, because you are going only for that business. ऐसा उसका आप ये कीजिए, प्रोपोर्शनेट जो कॉमन क्रेडिट है वो ले सकते हैं. You will be out of it. I hope I am clear, sir, on this. Now, one exporter anonymously has written, and he represents other exporters also. He says, we have been receiving show cause notices for the financial year 2018-19. So when one talks of a specific one period of financial year, it is definitely the state GST. The difference between, see, no, you are assigned either to a state or a central officer. Both cannot, except in case of verification of evasion, they can come. Otherwise, if you are assigned, you will know that you have to file the return. Back end में आपको मालूम पड़ेगा आपका कौन है ऑफिसर. या तो यहाँ है तो कोंकण भवन रहेगा, या तो मसगांव भवन रहेगा, तो स्टेट अथॉरिटीज हैं. यहाँ बहुत सारे ऑफिसर्स हैं तो सेंट्रल अथॉरिटीज. ठीक है ना. तो when I see 2018, I know it's a state authority demanding GST along interest and penalty for the input credit claimed by the exporters. Input was available from the purchase made by the exporters, which was reflected in their account, for which assessment has been completed for the said period. What is the suggestion for such case? Is there a GST tribunal for appealing? I will take the issue, but answer the second question once. The exporters have received show cause notices. The show cause notices are only demand or normal notices. They have still not been adjudicated. A tribunal or an appellate authority comes only when the notice is adjudicated. So, sir, my answer is, though there are GST tribunals which are yet functional, now is not the time for you to appeal, because let us see what happens. If you people are dealing with GST, they send you first a DRC, ASMT 8 or something, they send you, then a DRC 1A stating that falana dakana itna barna hai. And if you are not satisfying them, then the DRC 1, which is the show cause notice, comes. So, sir, in this case, I will have to see what is the show cause notice, why they have resolved. Otherwise, except for the block credits, all types of credits are available not only for the exporters, for everybody. It is available. That is seamless credit. Previous regimes में ऐसा था, if your products are exempted, then for exporters also credit नहीं मिलता था. अभी तो if your taxable, your supply is exempted, you cannot get ITC. That is simple. But exporters get it. Even now, if they export the goods, they get it. This is taking care of the pharma industry. There are many generic medicines available in the market. But when they export it, पैरासिटामोल को क्रोसिन बनाते हैं, समझे? तो उनको वहां ब्रांड नेम एंड कौन सा कंट्री का मेक डालना ही पड़ता है, तभी वो एक्सेप्ट करेगा. तो पहले उन लोग को काफी केसेस किए थे, इंक्लूडिंग द अंडरसाइंड ऑन सैंडोज एंड ऑल, कि आप लोग खाली एक्सपोर्ट में ब्रांड नेम डालते हो. क्यों? बिकॉज यू वांट आईटीसी. दैट लिटिगेशन इज गोइंग ऑन, लॉजिकली इनकरेक्ट हमारी तरफ से. बट नाउ जीएसटी में इफ यू आर एक्सपोर्टिंग एनीथिंग, you will get that credit. Then it is not an exempted supply. Any export is zero rated. Zero rated में ITC मिलता है, ITC का refund मिलता है, आप LUT में करो. That is simple as that. So my answer for this is, they are totally wrong if they have, in fact, to the point of saying they are totally silly if they have told you कि आप ITC नहीं ले सकते हैं. या तो मुझे बराबर ये इसमें समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि नोटिस किसके लिए है. कोई ब्लॉक क्रेडिट तो नहीं है, आपने गाड़ी तो नहीं ले ली, आपने खाने का बिल का क्रेडिट तो नहीं ले लिया, आपने कोई कंस्ट्रक्शन मटेरियल का तो क्रेडिट नहीं ले लिया. तो ये जब तक मैं सर आपका नोटिस नहीं देखूंगा तो मैं इसका सही जवाब नहीं दे सकता हूं. एज फार एज द जनरल क्वेरी इज देयर कि आर एक्सपोर्टर्स एंटाइटल्ड टू इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट, definitely for all their taxable and exempted supplies, they are entitled to credit. Domestic taxpayers are entitled to only ITC relating to the taxable supplies, and any proportionate has to be reversed. There are some common credits which you cannot determine at the start itself. It will go into an exempted supply. चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट को दो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट नहीं रखोगे ना आप कि एक मेरा टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज देखिए, एक exempted सप्लाईज बड़ा पार्टी है करती है तो ग्रेट, he cannot take that 1:1 credit. Simple as that. तो इसका आंसर यही है. I hope the exporters are listening, or maybe they are with the state authorities debating this notice. So my answer is, you please send me a copy of one of the show cause notices. Let us see whether I can reply offhand or whether it needs detailed reply. Thank you very much. Now we are open to any queries. If Selvi madam can, if she has received any queries, we will take online, and then I would like to see the chair of you people more. So we will keep your questions later. Yes, Selvi, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The first question comes from Shweta N. Can an invoice not be amended online with the GST number added later on, which a company has forgotten to add its GST details, so that a company could get the GST benefit?
Now, hello.
Yes, sir.
See, any business, once it starts, the registration has to be taken within 30 days. So suppose initially my business is set. ऐसा होता है ना, सडनली मैं बिजनेस करने का सोचता हूं, मैडम सारी लेके आ गई घर पे, शी थिंक्स कि मैं सारी सेल करूंगी, और पहले ही दिन सोल्ड आउट हो जाता है, वो भी 20 लाख के ऊपर, 40 लाख के ऊपर, समझो, पहले ही दिन होता है. देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. अगर आप प्रपोज करते हैं बिजनेस, इफ यू हैव गॉट दैट फोरसाइट, यू कैन टेक रजिस्ट्रेशन पहले से, बिकॉज यू नो कि मेरे पास बैग्स आने वाली है, मेरे पास मशीनरी आने वाली है, स्ट्रैपिंग मशीन. आई एम टेकिंग अ सिंपल सारी बिजनेस का, स्ट्रैपिंग मशीन आने वाली है, मैं मैन पावर कंसल्टेंसी में 2 क्लर्क्स को रखने वाली हूँ. वो सब सोच के पहले से रजिस्ट्रेशन लेंगे, तो देन आईटीसी भी मिलता और पहले दिन से टैक्स इनवॉइस बनता. In this case, since registration is taken later, there is a provision that they can reissue the invoice with the tax. But on the first day, that business cannot issue a tax invoice with GST. A tax invoice can be issued only when you have a registration number. Thinking that पहले ही दिन मेरा 40 लाख बिकेगा और सारी का 5% जीएसटी है, इनबिल्ट है, मैं ऐसा इनवॉइस कच्चे में भी नहीं दे सकती हूं कि 400 रुपए का सारी है, 400 डिवाइडेड बाय 105 इंटू 100 बेसिक वैल्यू और जीएसटी कंपोनेंट नहीं दिखा सकते. यू कैनॉट कलेक्ट टैक्स और चार्ज टैक्स prior to registration. So there is this one where within 30 days आप ले लो, रिटर्न भी तब तक आया नहीं रहेगा. You reissue the invoices, keep the invoices जो आपने नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर में निकाल के दिए हैं for your records, and these invoices will be able to enable your purchasers to avail credit. सारी का मैंने ले तो लिया एग्जाम्पल, पर्सनल कंजम्पशन नहीं होता है. I assume that she has sold to people who sell sarees. So definitely this is one of the remedies, madam.
Sir, Shweta is continuing with that. She has raised her hand. Can I allow her to speak?
Please, please, please.
Shweta, please unmute yourselves. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, yes, we
Yeah,
can
Shweta.
hear you.
Hi, sir. Very nice session. Thank you. My question was, so I am a service provider, and so there are services that I take from other companies, say, for website hosting and stuff. So I have not updated my GST details in the account, though I am a GST registered firm. I have not updated in that account, and they have raised an invoice without giving me the GST benefit. Now, when I ask them that this is my GST number, and can I please reclaim, can you please make a new invoice instead? And with this GST number, they're saying that is not in our policy. And I have lost the opportunity to get the benefit probably. So is that, can I claim
Yeah, I
it?
understood. Yeah, I understood your issue now. you are a recipient of a supply on which
Yes.
tax has been charged, but in their GST return, they have shown it under B2C.
Right.
So you need to talk to them, because initially this happened to a lot of people, and the government removed a circular stating that you can amend it, but bada companies karte nahi hai. So you have to get back to them. There is no mandate for them to change it, because they have a vendor list where they ask you for the GST number, and if you have not put, they will say it's a mistake, and from tomorrow when I put the GST number. But you can, if the transactions are very recent, can you ask them to reissue the invoice and amend the GSTR 1? In that case, you will receive it. But if it is not in their policy, then the answer from I will be unable to help you, because there are no circulars in this regard mandating to heed to the request of the recipients.
Thank you,
I
sir.
hope I am clear.
Thank you, sir. So now Arjun Narang has got another question. Due to technical reasons, services are not rendered and refunded. The advance collected and reported the amount in minus at GSTR 1 under column 11A. The negative amount is not appearing in the GSTR 3B. Advise how to make the adjustment account of refunded can be carried out in GSTR 3B. Is there any time limit to use the unutilized of GST owing to refund of advance? Refund of any tax and interest can be made before the expiry of 2 years from the relevant date. That's the question.
Yes. So what I understand is you are a supplier of services. So, and that is why the time of supply to pay tax comes when you receive an advance. So as I was saying, in the initial phase, even advance on goods was taxed. You had to pay, the time of supply was when you receive an advance. But then exporters always receive an advance. जो export करते हैं अपना machineries वगैरह, they always take an advance, otherwise why will they do it? They had a lot of problems. They went to the forum and that got solved. Now that still remains in services. Now advance आपने ले लिया, आपने भर दिया tax, and now there is a deficiency in service, or the service has not been provided. There are two reasons. GST is applicable on supplies made or proposed to be made. So in your case, it was proposed to be, the supply of services was proposed to be made, and that is why on advance this it is there. Suppose you had made this supply, there is a way to adjust the advance tax and pay only the difference. Now the only remedy for you, as I recollect now, ma'am, because this is a very rare case which has come to my mind, that you have the option of taking refund by other refunds. एक है उसमें I believe there is no time limit other refunds का, because these जो 2 years है ना मैडम, ये सब export के matter में है. But wherever you have made a mistake, I guess that I'll definitely take your number of the query holder from Selvi madam and go through the books and tell you really, but refund can be taken. I hope you have not crossed the 2-year limit. Since your query has come in, I assume that you're worried that 2 years हो गया है. अगर नहीं हुआ है तो आप refund ले लीजिए, because when आपने services नहीं दिया है, तो you have paid tax which is not to be paid, and you can always take it back. They will check your GSTR 1, that have you paid the tax. They will see, because whenever you charge a tax, they will see whether the principles of natural, this is their unjust enrichment hai kya. Have you charged the tax to your recipient? And if you have charged, has he refunded it back to you? If that is so, you will get the refund. If he has not refunded back to you, then it's a case of unjust enrichment. The government also will not give you, and you've already taken from that. So ye jara Selvi, if the exporter is, if the person is there and he can rephrase the query or DM me directly, I'll be happy to answer his query.
Okay.
Because now I do not know whether he has charged the gentleman.
Arjun,
GST.
can you unmute? I have allowed you. Yes, Arjun. Please place your question, query. Hello, Arjun. Hello.
Selvi, we can take it up later.
Yeah.
आप
I
मेरे
think.
को DM भी करेंगे तो I will be happy to help him out.
Okay.
Next,
So
if somebody
the
is in
next
line.
question comes from Vijay Mane. This is ERP based. We wanted to link our ERP to NIC portal of e-invoicing. We have created client ID and client secret, but we are unable to create API with the NIC portal for e-invoice purposes. Due to this technical issue in GSTN, we are not able to issue e-invoice from our ERP system. We have clicked on forgot client ID secret. Again, error message by e-invoice portal says you are not allowed to use this feature. Please contact below details to get client ID and secret. Where the screen shows are another state GSTIN and mobile number of that location. How can we resolve this issue? Please advise.
This is purely a very technical problem.
Yeah.
Related to the ERP systems and linking to our NIC portal. Now, there are two ways to do it. Offhand, I will not be able to help him unless I sit with him. So, but there are two ways. Either he goes to the on the portal itself, up help desk mein, I don't know whether he has already gone. Either you do that, or every commissionerate, the jurisdiction where he belongs, whether it's a state or the central, he can go to the EDP section and they will help him out in front of it. Pura samne वो लोग करेंगे. He has to take his password and ID, take his laptop, and they will be able to help him. Or he needs to come to me and I will solve it in a jiffy. It should not be a problem. But ऐसा मैं बता नहीं पाऊंगा because I wouldn't know what is the error, even though, yes, very clearly stated what is the screen, this one coming. So only two ways. Either contact the EDP section of the jurisdiction to which he belongs and let the query holder do not think to believe that the state or center ke paas nahi hai. They have got a very robust EDP section with young officers running the show. So they will be definitely able to help him, or we can sit across, and if he is outside, we can always on a Zoom, I will be able to solve. For the present, I can say only this.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Sangeeta Kedia says the health insurance GST, because you had quoted that example, says GST levied is 18%, which is a very tough one. So just that much is the comment from her. Parmeshwar Menon says, can startups get some refund on GST during their initial years?
Now, as far as Sangeeta Madam is concerned, this forum will not comment on policy matters. The GST Council is the appropriate authority, and there are forums to which he or she belongs. If they can take it up, in fact, they are trying to reduce the premiums. So, but that is a policy matter. So, I will not be able to comment, and this is not an appropriate platform to do it because these are policy matters, rates of taxation. So I'm afraid I will not be able to believe. I also understand because I also take a health insurance premiums, and I also feel the pinch when I pay 18%. But that is that. It's a service. Service generally, basically, it is not like supply of goods. Alag rates hai. Supply of services is absolutely 18. Online gaming में 28 है, और कोई प्रोसेस इंडस्ट्री में है तो जॉब वर्क के लिए 5 और 12 रखा है. Certain services provided to the Indian Navy on ships owned by the Shipyards are 5%, otherwise everything is 18%. And even rationalization hoga to usme 15 hoga. Let us not expect more than that, because service industry hi baki sab economies, if you go around the world, service industry pe hi economy chal rahi hai. So I'm afraid I will not be able to comment on that. These startups, ma'am, the startup is, what is his question, that whether ITCP in the initial
Parmeshwar
years?
Menon. Yeah, Parmeshwar
Huh.
Menon has put it. Can startups get some refund on GST during their initial years?
No, what is the meaning of initial years? They are not
Uh,
registered for that,
I'll have
or
to check with him.
they do not require to be registered under any case.
I'll have to check with him. I'll just tell him, I'll post it to him. Can I take
Yeah.
the next question then?
Please.
Yeah, it is. Septec has put the question. We are getting import IGST credit of previous year in current year. How to trace it?
How to?
Trace.
See, when you pay IGST, you have the bill of entry. It is in hand. And then आजकल तो 2 भी आ गया है, बहुत सारे एंट्रीज दिखाई भी नहीं देते हैं, तो some people take it this one. तो इसमें ट्रेस करने वाली क्या बात है? आपको एक कॉलम है GSTR 9 में where it says previous years का आपने लिया है क्या, within time limit लिया है क्या, तो they can obviously take it. If the can the query be more specific, ma'am? It is not appearing in 2B those, or has the clerk or the accountant missed taking those credits? What is the query?
Okay. Okay. I'll take, people have asked for your email ID or mobile number, sir, so that they can connect with you for specific cases possible.
For specific cases, you can contact. I'll be leaving my email ID and this one.
Okay.
If it is generic ones, then it should be routed through IMC only, because I have drawn an MOU with them.
So now Sangeeta's got another question. GST at 18% is charged by Residential Society Federation. Is it correct? Can I claim the input?
Okay, now I need to, in this, there are two parts. One is the registered residential association has charged 18%. I will tell you the reason why they charge. And second is, what is your line of business? That I need to know. तभी तक आप संगीता से पूछ लीजिए. Now, wherever residential associations are there, they are an association of persons, and they offer services to its own members. आप एक रेजिडेंस में रहते हैं और उसमें सिक्योरिटी वाला, कचरा वाला ये आता है, तो उसमें लेते हैं, तो there the conditions are two, and both should be satisfied. This is the only service where both conditions have to be satisfied. One is 20 lakhs. And secondly, monthly remuneration should be above 7,500. So in this case, I assume that you are living in a very poor society, and that is why the charge of 7,500 per month or 22,500 per quarter comes. And yes, GST is to be charged. They will not take a risk. जहाँ commercial है, commercial का अलग charge करेंगे, इसका है, because as an association of persons, they have to charge, they will charge. Now, as regarding taking of input credit, if the house is used as a place of business, then definitely you can take. Why not? It is seamless credit. It is not personal consumption, unless the society charges 200 rupees for your child's play park and 800 rupees for kachra, then the 200 ka GST आपको नहीं मिलेगा, because personal consumption होगा. Generally, societies don't charge. They put taxes, then they put maintenance charge. Maintenance में सब कुछ आता है, आपका garden भी आ जाता है, आपका club house भी आ जाता है, जो भी है. So definitely, if she is using that particular house as a place of business, certainly, if she is not using, she is using a godown or an office, then she should include it as an additional place of business. But by including it as an additional place of business, you have to maintain certain protocols of maintaining records. Will you be able to maintain records? You need not give any the supplies from there, but at least record should be there. And it should be maintained, mentioned as an get your registration amended as a this one. So see whether the rupee component is worthwhile doing that. 7,500 रहेगा तो उसका कितना GST होगा? But yes, you are entitled, provide you use, there is a nexus in your business and you use it for business purposes, no problem, they can take the credit.
It seems the building is hers. She owns a building.
Oh, building is, so why is the residential association charging in that case if she is the builder? She is
Shall
she
I?
is just the owner. 1 minute. She is just the owner of the building. Does she stay there? Or is she charging rent to the other persons? If she is charging rent to residential persons and the residential persons are per se not registered persons,
Yes.
then if they are not per se this one registered persons, if a director of a company is there and the company has got this one, then usko RCM में भरना है. तो इनको कोई टैक्स रेजिडेंशियल के लिए तो नहीं आएगा, चाहे वो 1 करोड़ हो जाए चाहे वो 2 करोड़ हो जाए. देयर इज नो टैक्स. इवन टैक्स आएगा तो सामने वाला रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन होगा तो वो देगा. अगर वो भी अगर ये करता है based on his policy, if he does not pay, there is no problem. But then there is no question of taking ITC, madam. But why a residential association? Has she appointed external people to manage that?
No, what she's specified is she'll contact you
Please.
because it's specific. It's a long one, maybe.
No,
Yeah.
no problem.
And Septec has come back. They are saying, I mean, now BOE and all the procedures are online, but then also we are not getting few credit in that and the same year credit reflecting in next year. That is why they want to trace it.
Yeah. See, madam, the credits, first of all, let us understand that the IGST charged by the customs is under the IGST Act of theirs. Okay. So when they charge, they have been mandated to trace it with the ICE gate ke saath ye karke. They upload it. That is now getting delayed. But the credit is not lost. Many clients go back to their clearing agents and say कि साहब को बोलो उसको ये करो, because they don't want to pay further in cash and they want to pay in ITC. So in that case, the credit is not lost at all, ma'am. मेरे को ये trace word नहीं समझ में आ रहा है मैडम. 2B में दिखेगा ना, bill of entry का नंबर है, let us say 420, 421, 423, 423 है, 20 नहीं दिख रहा है, बाकी 3 ये महीने का 2B में दिख रहा है. वो 20 आप तो लिख के रखेंगे कि ये कहीं नहीं दिख रहा है, वो आएगा ऑटोमेटिकली. नहीं आएगा तो they have to go back to the customs clearing agent. They need not meet the officer and he will get it done. There is no, I am only worried कि does it go beyond the November 30th of that succeeding year. उसके लिए उनको चिंता है क्या, मैं सोच रहा हूँ. Otherwise, rest assured, the credits does not go, because let me tell you, members sitting here and online, गवर्नमेंट उतना ही टैक्स चाहती है जितना उस लेजिटिमेट उसके पास आना चाहिए. अगर आप 1000 का बिल बनाते हैं और 18% है, आप 180 के बदले 185 भरने नहीं बोलते, आप भरते हैं. अब GSTR 1 में दिखा दिया, 3B में दिखा दिया तो ठीक है, नहीं तो वो 5 रुपया, it doesn't tell you to pay, it wants. The moment 179 is there, आपको मिसमैच का नोटिस आ जाएगा. 180 जब तक है तो ऐसा ही है, आपने IGST भर दिया and it is not IGST आपने भर दिया और लग गया, तो you are entitled for taking credit and it will not be lost. So if we can put it in the chat box and we take it for later because this is a generic question, I will contact the local IMC people and reply to that, because I need to know why he is the gentleman is worried that the credit is not traceable. That's not the case.
Okay, sir. So the next question comes from Machindra. He says, ITC can claim on planned canteen invoice. Please suggest, because some companies claim ITC on canteen services in plants as per Factories Act.
Yeah, as per Factories Act, if you have more than 250 employees, there is mandatory to be a canteen. So when there is a canteen, two ways, either you outsource it totally किसी के पास कैंटीन मैनेजर के पास कि वो सामान भी लाएगा, इक्विपमेंट्स भी लाएगा, मैं सिर्फ जगह दूंगा उसको और वो एम्प्लॉय से चार्ज करेगा. Then that canteen manager charges 5% because it's a service, this one. But if it is a part and you are mandated to maintain a canteen, or what you do is you give equipments, सब आटे की चक्की, इडली बनाने का ये, ovens, ovens आप देते हो, तो definitely ITC लेगी भी और चार्ज भी करेगी एम्प्लॉइज को. Definitely. Some companies don't want the janjat at all, madam, and that is why they claim ITC. That is no problem, this one. And they pay the 5% also. There is absolutely no problem. But they don't get into issues. So इनका क्या है? He says he is a purchaser of the canteen material. वो employee है क्या?
And no, that he is not specified. He's just said, can ITC be claimed on planned canteen invoice?
No,
So-
you cannot claim. No, so I'm sorry. If I am a recipient of canteen services, I am a mechanic for, say, Voltas, and I go to various companies and their canteen, I am allowed the facility of eating. They say you eat, but aap hi bhar do. So I cannot go back to Voltas and give that invoice. That is not allowed because food and beverage in any case is absolutely block credit except when it is in the same line of business. Why I am saying same line of business? Restaurant to ITC nahi hai. But there are management event companies who organize events and also supply food. And they must have bought the food from somebody. So that is, so when you go through the definition, it says a food and beverage is a block credit except when it is part of a composite supply or a mixed supply. So in this case, availment of credit on a canteen invoice, सवाल ही नहीं मैडम. F&B हो गया 5% है, 18% है क्या मैडम? Ask the gentleman, 18% टैक्स मारा है क्या उसने बैंकवेट सर्विस करके? Can you ask him? Selvi ji?
Sir, 5%. 5%.
5%. सवाल ही नहीं. 5% straight away F&B का है मैडम. F&B is totally blocked credit under 17(5)(b).
Okay. So the next question is from Samir V. I have
Selvi,
Huh?
Selvi, one moment. After this,
Huh?
we'll break there and we'll take any queries from the
Yes, yes,
audience
sir.
sitting.
Yes,
Because I have
because
got
I'm having
beautiful
many
people sitting
questions.
before. हाँ तो एक आप ले लीजिए. I am there.
हाँ.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
हाँ.
I have some of Samir V says,
What?
I have
हाँ,
some
tell
of
me.
the ITC credit in my ECL. I have also an exporter of some eatable foods. My question is, how can I ask to department for refund, or can I adjust this ITC against my export supplies?
Come again.
I have some ITC credit in my ECL,
Fine.
and I have an
Now wait. I
Huh.
break it there itself.
Yeah.
Whether it is admissible, inadmissible, that I will have to see. Next.
Okay. I have also an exporter of some eatable foods. He's
Mane,
got
he
a-
is also an exporter.
he have also an exporter of some eatable foods. He has an exporter
He has an exporter.
of
Mane,
some,
this fellow is a merchant exporter.
I think so. Samir ji, if you can just clarify that in chat. Yeah, he's put something. Yes.
He is a merchant exporter.
Yeah.
So he has
Now,
got ITC in ledger.
yeah,
So when the exporter pays the tax, who is paying the tax? Or does he do it on LUT?
yeah, he's replying to that. He is an exporter.
Does he do it under letter of undertaking? If he does not want to do that, he can definitely use this ITC towards IGST payable on exports. He can do that and take refund from the department,
Okay, he has
from
LUT.
customs department.
Yeah, he has LUT, he says.
He has LUT. Then when there is an LUT, that remains in his books. Then he can always ask for refund of that ITC credit from the jurisdictional AC. That is allowed.
Okay. So I think
I am answering this based on the fact that it is admissible, inadmissible ITC. बाद में ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि inadmissible ITC का refund आनंद साहब ने बोल दिया, ऐसा नहीं है. If it is admissible ITC, then that ITC will not be wasted. Either he can pay tax and take the refund from the IGST, that is customs department, or he can still use LUT and take the refund from the our department, is jurisdictional GST authorities.
so he's having admissible ITC only, sir.
Definitely. As I said, that government does not want anything that does not belong to it. Let me be very clear. Even as a trainer, I used to say the viewpoint of the government, that the government ये कभी नहीं चाहती है कि जो उसके लिए नहीं है, उसका नहीं है अपने जेब में, वो उसके पास रहे. Definitely, this is ease of business, no? So definitely he will get refund of the ITC, or if he wants to adjust it towards the next export, he can definitely do though. Refund from us will take 60 days. Refund from customs will be faster, but only thing is sometimes ice gate plays strong, so problem ho jata hai. So my safe, this will be to get it from the GST authorities, whatever ITC is lying.
Okay, sir, I think now you're taking the physical one.
Yeah. Please let them be online. I am there, absolutely. Sir.
Sir, can the mic be given to them? Because here, otherwise people
Yeah.
won't be
Somebody is giving the mic. Sir.
I'm Pramod Shah. I'm practicing company secretary and corporate lawyer. The question is regarding, sir, fees or the donation paid to NGO bodies, sir. What is the status? Because there's a lot of dispute going on there.
What is the status? Since Pramod, I know you, I will tell you. They are all association of persons. So association of persons का बहुत दिन से चल रहा था. Whether it is when they charge, whether it is service to self, it is not. It is service given to the members. For example, Rotary है. आप लोग आते हो, मिलते हो, गले मिलते हो, पिक्चर देखते हो, charity भी करते हो. So these are, and it provides you a platform to do all this. So it charges, it has to maintain, the club has to maintain. So it charges GST. Now that is not linked to the business at all. Because even if you go to section 17.5, club membership is a personal expense and it's a block credit. But if you are talking of the outward GST, जिसका 20 लाख नहीं है, वो association charge नहीं करती है. जिसका 20 लाख है, वो आपको charge करेगी और 18% लेगी. Yes, please.
Good evening. I have two cases to present.
Can we
here.
have your name, sir?
My name is Indivar Ghosh. Basically, I am a service provider. I do organize online forums, and also I take services from hotel venues. Now, in first case, when I am offering my services through online portals, I am a registered GST payer of the state of Maharashtra, and there are service seekers, service takers across India. And some of the clients, they say that since the service has been delivered in that state, and though you are a registered taxpayer in the state of Maharashtra, we will pay SGST and CGST rather than IGST. That's first question. Second question is, when I'm taking hotel services in any other state, say in Delhi or in Calcutta, they are saying even though your tax registration falls in the state of Maharashtra, but still I will charge you SGST and CGST since their registration is of that state.
See, the GST Act is very unique. It is one of the, because I've gone through it, it is one of the finest acts. Each and every activity is properly covered by the act itself. So when you want a value of a particular supply in the state of Maharashtra, you need to refer to the CGST Act and the Maharashtra GST Act. If you want to see when you have to pay the tax, time of supply, again you have to go to the respective acts. But when you want a place of supply, which will answer your question, because you may feel, what is he talking? When I want a place of supply, I have to go to the IGST Act. There is a reason behind it. The place of supply could be here or there, here or overseas. So since these acts cannot talk about those, that is why we have to go to the place of supply to the IGST Act. Now there are certain transactions. As you know, there is an intrastate and an interstate supply. When there is intrastate, you pay the local taxes. When it is inter, IGST is to be paid. You know why IGST has to be paid? Because a tax of a state cannot go beyond the frontiers of the state. Similarly, export का principle यही है, the General Agreement on Trade of Taxes, tariffs, it says a tax of a country cannot go beyond the frontiers. That is why either you pay by LUT or you pay. In both the cases, you will get refund. Similarly, when it Maharashtra का जब GST गुजरात के तरफ जाता है तो IGST हो जाता है. And every 2 months passbook method में उनको मिलता है या घटता है. ठीक है? Now coming to your question. I will take the hotel industry. The place of supply of an immovable property, be it a hotel, be it a disco, be it a ship, is where the property is located. So if you go to Taj Delhi, he will accept your GST number, but he will give you a S plus C because the supply is given there. You may have come from outside, but the supply is given there. It is consumed there. So Delhi GST plus UT GST, if it is a union territory, Delhi, or is the same. State GST, Delhi state GST plus CGST will be there. और उसका credit भी आपको नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि आपके 8A में दिख जाएगा. Similarly, so there are certain things, exhibitions, fairs. So इसीलिए जो second question है आपका ये हो गया. What was the first question? They are telling. अभी online transactions का मैं 1 second में आपको after this I will tell you कि whether online transactions भी place of supply is where the provider is there. अगर वो हुआ बिल्कुल
somebody is taking my services through this online portal, sitting in Bangalore or any other place in India. So should I charge IGST or should I?
That I will answer you. No, you have emphatically said that I am providing from Maharashtra, so I should pay M plus C.
Yes.
Maharashtra GST plus C. You have emphatically stated that. But if it were you were providing to a service to an overseas fellow,
overseas fellow,
you will, and you get it in foreign exchange.
It's not a foreign.
You will immediately say that it is provided overseas. So that is why I'm saying, for place of supply to know where you stand, you need to go to this IGST Act and find it, because it is always provided both in India जो है recipient और उसके लिए एक rule है, which you are correct, MGST लगेगा, और उनके लिए एक rule है. Online का जो भी होता है, it is considered an export of service.
Okay, so in that,
because immediately place of supply goes there because you receive in foreign exchange. तो इसीलिए आपका आंसर फिर भी मैं 1 मिनट मेरे को दीजिए. आई विल सी वेदर ऑनलाइन का ट्रांजैक्शंस का क्या है. व्हाट डू यू गिव सर?
I host webinars online.
वेबिनार्स. तो
Webinars.
जैसे अभी अगर इनके मेंबर कलकत्ता भी गया, उधर के होटल से भी देख रहा है मेरा, है ना?
हाँ.
तो वैसा वाला इश्यू है ना.
वैसा वाला issue.
सवाल ही नहीं, इधर ही है. But because they are there, just give me 1 moment and I will do it. We can come with the next question. See, and one more thing, we don't have time. Cardinal principle for everybody here, whether you're taxpayer, all that you have earned on, this is for services. All that you have earned in foreign exchange is not export, and all that you have spent in foreign exchange is not import of service. ये cardinal principle mind में रख के चलिए और place of supply देखिए, then only you will be able to say. There are various commissions received in India for services done there. वो यहाँ भरना है टैक्स, वैसा है. इसीलिए ये कार्डिनल प्रिंसिपल आप समझ के चलिए. अगर कोई ऑफिसर बोलता है सर मेरे को तो फॉरेन एक्सचेंज आया, इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि आपने एक्सपोर्ट किया है. प्रमोद, योर लिविंग. थैंक यू सो मच. इट वाज वंडरफुल हैविंग यू. थैंक यू सो मच सर. आप तो हर वक्त देते रहते हैं.
Thank you so much.
And I'll send your copy to. Okay. I'll send your copy to office. Okay. I was getting fine. Thank you.
So place of supply of services when location of the supplier and recipient is in India. This is where you fall, right? The default is
Because that is my like long-term negotiation with the customers. I've been offering B2B services.
so your recipient, is a registered person. Where he is located. He is in
because,
Delhi, right?
Because I am offering a B2B service. So even the person sitting opposite is a registered taxpayer.
See, generally, I need not refer the book, but these are all rare cases which come to us. Supply of services, बाकी सब आ जाता है. सब मैं एग्जीबिशन चलाता हूँ, मैं होटल लेता हूँ, वो सब आ जाता है. इसीलिए I am seeing the book. Please forgive me.
No, not an issue.
Does this, it says telecommunication services.
I'm not giving telecom.
No, okay. No, that's what I said. To 13 is 13 advertising services भी नहीं है.
Because I remember I did raise one of the invoices where the customer made me to write.
IGST भरेंगे सर जहां आपका recipient बाहर है.
My point was that, but there is one invoice I remember where I had to put place of supply as Bangalore, and I had to change from IGST to SGST and CGST
Why?
because their claim was they received the service in Bangalore, hence CGST and SGST should be applicable.
You are the service provider,
Yes,
right?
from Maharashtra, Mumbai.
From Maharashtra, you have a GST 27.
27, yes.
Right?
Yes.
You are paying the tax.
Yes, I am paying the tax.
Then how can you say that you have to pay Karnataka GST?
I don't know.
See, supplier का ही डिसीजन है टैक्स भरना. आप डिपेंड होते होंगे आपके क्लाइंट पे, बट व्हाट क्लाइंट सेज cannot be true. So he cannot, then you have to register in Karnataka and pay Karnataka GST. That is what I said. No tax can be beyond the frontiers of the state. It can go. That is why Taj हर जगह registration लेता है. कलकत्ता में 33 लेता है, यहाँ पे 27 लेता है, दिल्ली में 7 लेता है, हरियाणा में 9 लेता है, क्योंकि वो वहां ही सर्विस देता है. उसको ITC चाहिए. आपका भी है. जहां जहां महाराष्ट्र हो, आप C+S महाराष्ट्र का भरेंगे.
Yes.
आप एक कार्डिनल प्रिंसिपल सोचिए, आप जिस स्टेट में हैं उसी स्टेट का आप जीएसटी भर सकते हैं। आपको दूसरा स्टेट में भरना है तो आई ही भर सकते हैं सर। आप जम्मू कश्मीर के स्टेट का जीएसटी आप नहीं भर सकते हैं क्योंकि आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन है ही नहीं, वो लेगा ही नहीं।
I
चला।
perfectly agree with you,
हाँ।
but the repercussion that I face is मैं आपका आप ये नहीं करेंगे तो मैं आपका जीएसटी पार्ट नहीं देने वाला।
That's what. That is because we are dependent on him. बिजनेस में क्या चलता है वो डिपार्टमेंट भी आपको सॉल्व नहीं करेगा और मैं तो कतई नहीं सॉल्व कर पाऊंगा। They are dependent. So what? You have to take that IGST. अब आपको ऑब्जर्व करना पड़ेगा, क्या करेंगे आप? Simple as that. And do you mean to say by charging your Bengaluru party, by you charging IGST, he doesn't take credit? He will take that credit also. He will take that credit also आराम से, आपसे ले लेगा क्रेडिट, आपको पैसा भी नहीं देगा। वहां हम 180 डेज में वो पकड़ लेंगे, वो अलग बात है, ऑडिटर या जो भी है पकड़ लेंगे, लेकिन आपके हाथ से तो गया ना सर। सो ऐसे आदमी को आप इंक्लूसिव जीएसटी चार्ज कीजिए, उतना पोर्शन आपका बचेगा। सी एंसिलरी इंडस्ट्रीज क्या है, बड़े बड़े लोग दबा देते हैं। एमएसएमई, अब बोलिए एमएसएमई बोलता है 45 डेज में दो, कहाँ जाता है वो? आपसे ले लेगा रिसीप्ट, लेकिन देगा 6 महीने में। आई एम टॉकिंग, यू नो, बिकॉज यू आर फोर्स्ड फॉर हिज बिजनेस, ही ऑल्सो नोस। तो इन दिस केस एक ही है आपके पास कि आप कम ड्यूटी का चार्ज कीजिए। मेक द इनवॉइस, सपोज यू आर चार्जिंग 1000 प्लस 180, you make it 1000 divided by 118 into 100. That is allowed the department. Don't show the GST component, Alex. Refer to section 15 for that. You have to show 1000 rupees charge. मेरे को उतना ही मिला, मैं उसमें रिवर्स करके मैं भर रहा हूँ। नहीं, see who are the parties? We know the big fish always dominates these smaller fish, is it not? And it can be only 2 or 3 parties who do it. ये forum में it's not the appropriate forum to take anybody's names. So है, मैं बोल दिया ना, वो आपको, he cannot dictate what you pay. You have to pay IGST, which I just wanted a double check and then I said. बताइए और कोई है? बोलिए ना सर।
My name is Mayur from Hindustan. We are exporters of spices.
Spices. So you are from APMC, sir.
Basically,
Spices 5%.
5%. So basically, the issue is that when we do payments from abroad, for example, of the invoice value of $100, we receive $98. And the rest, the balance $2 is of international bank charges. But the department is asking to pay tax on that 2%, $2, which we receive less. And they are creating a issue regarding that, and they have sent a show cause notices and everything.
See, this point has been started by audit sections.
Yeah.
Okay. We have advised. We have also taken such points. We have advised. There are many banks जो ट्रांसमिट करते हैं, वो उसका भी टैक्स आपको जीएसटी भर के दे देते हैं, उसका क्रेडिट मिल जाता है। इसमें $100 में आपको $2 नहीं मिल रहा है। So our contention is that you have to pay on RCM.
Yeah.
Yes, because they say the foreign bank has given you a service and $2 ये करना है।
But sir, that foreign bank service is not given to us.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Because there is an intermediary, आपका HDFC होगा, अभ्युदय होगा, वो उसको चार्ज करता है, ये इसका फॉरवर्डिंग में खुद का चार्जेस मारता है। कोई बैंक, फॉर एग्जांपल अभ्युदय, वो $2 भी मारता है, वो खुद भर के मारता है, तो आपको क्रेडिट मिलता है। In this case also you will take credit when you pay.
No, sir. The local bank, they charge differently and
नहीं, फॉरवर्डिंग चार्ज, ये लोग तो फॉरवर्डिंग चार्ज मारते हैं, वो $2 के पर $98 में भी वो कुछ कमीशन मारता है, उसके ऊपर फॉरवर्डिंग में, फॉरवर्ड मैकेनिज्म में उभरता है, वो तो क्रेडिट है। लेकिन मैं बोलता हूं ये $2 पे भी वो लोग आजकल चार्ज कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज आपको क्रेडिट कहीं नहीं जाना है, राइट? नाउ व्हेन वी पॉइंटेड आउट टू बिग फिश, there is a very good strategy adopted by these big players. What they do, वो ये देखता है कि ऑफिसर ये छोटा सा पॉइंट्स ने बोले करोड़ों में रहने दो, वो भरते हैं, बाकी सब पॉइंट चिढ़वा देते हैं. And they give you a letter, while we do not agree, but to maintain peace with the department, we are paying. So ये डिपार्टमेंट का अभी भी स्टैंड है. Being an officer of the department, I agree with the observation. Being an ex-departmental officer, it is a nonsense observation. But ये क्रेडिट न्यूट्रल, रेवेन्यू न्यूट्रल है सर आपके लिए, इसीलिए भरने में ही ठीक है और आप क्रेडिट ले लीजिए. क्रेडिट तो कोई डिनाई नहीं कर सकता. हाँ, $2-4 का जो 18% है वो ब्लॉक हो जाएगा टिल द नेक्स्ट रिटर्न. उतना ही है. लड़ सकते हैं तो लड़िए, आप जीतेंगे ये केस. बिकॉज सर्विस बाय अ फॉरेन बैंक इज नॉट अ सर्विस एट ऑल. आप 13 जो मैं प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई सेक्शन 13(8) में जाएंगे, फॉरेन बैंक का वही प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई है, तो वो भी चल सकते हैं, लेकिन ओनली टू बाई पीस. इफ इट इज अ स्मॉल अमाउंट, आई एम स्टिल टेलिंग आप भर दीजिए, क्रेडिट ले लीजिए. क्योंकि वो लोग बोलते हैं भरने को, तो इट बिकम्स payable but told by the department. If you on your own start paying, the department tomorrow will say it was not payable. Why did you pay? When you are not, when you it is not payable, you cannot take the credit. Do you know the trick? You are all only day to day GST में आप लोग कहते हैं. You have to read between the lines. ITC किस चीज का आप ले सकते हैं? Of the tax paid by a registered person. But when it comes to RCM, it says you can take credit of RCM payable. और अगर payable नहीं था और आपने अपने आप भर दिया, आप उसका क्रेडिट नहीं ले सकते हैं. We can dispute it. अगर आपका सप्लायर ने, see these are all tidbits I am telling you, आपके सप्लायर ने यदि 12% का ड्यूटी 18% भरा है किसी इसमें, क्रेडिट आपको मिल जाएगा. सेक्शन 11 उसको पकड़ेगा कि तुम 12 का 18 नहीं भर सकता है ऑन योर ओन, बट क्रेडिट डिनाई नहीं होगा. क्यों? यू कैन टेक क्रेडिट ऑफ द आईटीसी पेड बाय द रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन. इवन इफ यू बोथ हैव कन्नाइव्ड, उसके पास बहुत आईटीसी है, इसीलिए आप बोलते हैं मारो यार, मेरे को क्रेडिट मिलेगा, मैं यूज कर लूंगा, मेरे को जरूरत है. तो ऐसे भी होते हैं केसेस, 5% का 18 भर दिया, तो सेक्शन 11 उसको पकड़ेगा, लेकिन आपको नहीं पकड़ेगा. लेकिन आरसीएम में यू टू बी केयरफुल. तो आपके केस में उनका ऑब्जर्वेशन आप ले लीजिए. नोटिस आ गया, आपको फाइट करना है, कीजिए. ठीक है, कितना अमाउंट है सर?
मेरे को भी अभी याद नहीं है.
नहीं, सपोज देखिए सर,
चलो लास्ट
5 लाख का शो कॉज नोटिस है. मैं बता देता हूं सर, आई एम आपके साथ ही मैं काम करूंगा. अगर आप 5 लाख का है सर, ठीक है, अगर आप भरते नहीं, वो रह गया भरने का, आप बोलते हैं मैं फाइट करूंगा, कंसल्टेंट आपसे रिप्लाई का 25,000 लूंगा. सो इनडायरेक्टली आई हैव टोल्ड यू व्हाट इज माय रेट. 25,000 लेगा, और फर्स्ट स्टेज में कोई ऑफिसर उसको छोड़ता नहीं है, उसको कंफर्म करता है. फिर आप अपीलेट जाओगे तो 10% भरना है, 50,000 उधर भरना है आपको, वो रह जाएगा 2-3 साल. उसका इंटरेस्ट जोड़िए, फिर वो उधर रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए मेरे से ऊपर एक आदमी आएगा अपीलेट इसमें, वो लेगा 25,000. तो 25 और 50, 1 लाख जाएगा. उससे अच्छा आप भर के छोटा सा अमाउंट. आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड इफ इट इज crores, then don't. बिकॉज आपका 5,000 इसमें भी $20 कटता है, मुझे मालूम है. यू हैव टेकन, व्हेन वी आस्क द एसएससी, वो लंबा लिस्ट देता है और नीचे अमाउंट आता है 44,000 रुपीस टैक्स. So it is not a great thing. So my advice would be, the observation is absolutely erroneous. It is no service is being provided by the overseas party to you, and hence IGST RCM is not livable. But to maintain peace, and if it's a small amount, please pay it and take the credit. There is nothing wrong.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else, or shall we move to Selvi? बोलिए ना.
हेलो, मैं वर्षा देसाई. एक्चुअली पूछना था कि वी आर द मैन्युफैक्चरर एंड एक्सपोर्टर आल्सो. वी आर प्लानिंग टू मेक अ फैक्ट्री and for this construction we are using the puff panel. Whether we can take the
PUF panel.
puff panel for the construction. It is a construction is not by the that bricks or all these things. So we can take the credit of that puff panel. It is movable.
Are you planning to capitalize it?
Yeah.
If you are using any material,
Okay.
there is no कि अभी पहले जो आप because you are saying your manufacturer आप एक्साइज में भी थी.
हाँ.
एक्साइज में कैपिटलाइज गुड्स के लिए कोई चैप्टर्स डाल दिया था. अभी सिंपल वो लपड़ा करने के लिए वो लोग ने क्या बोले, वेरी इजी करने के लिए whichever you capitalize, you can capitalize services also. वो कैपिटल गुड्स में माना जाएगा या कैपिटल सप्लाईज में माना जाएगा. Now if you go to section 17 and disregarding the safari retreats case, जिसको गवर्नमेंट ने अमेंडमेंट कर दिया है 1717 से, वो मिलेगा नहीं करके. एनी मटेरियल दैट इज यूज्ड फॉर कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ एन इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी. नाउ पैनल डोंट जोड़िए नहीं, पैनल बाय इटसेल्फ क्या कर सकता है, वो साउंड रिड्यूस कर सकता है. which is used for the construction of an immovable property other than plant and machinery, you are not allowed. Now you will say ये ऑफिस में ही मैं मशीन्स डालने वाली हूं तो प्लांट एंड मशीनरी होगा तो मेरे को मिलना चाहिए. सो प्लांट एंड मशीनरी में 3 चीजें एक्सक्लूड कर दी गई हैं. लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग, टेलीकम्युनिकेशन टावर्स एंड पाइपलाइंस आउटसाइड योर प्रीमाइसेस. तो कहीं भी नहीं बैठता है वो मैडम. अगर ज्यादा कॉस्ट नहीं है आप रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर में डालिए और ले लीजिए क्रेडिट. आप कैपिटलाइज कर दिए जाए तो बार बार सेक्शन 17 पढ़िए. ब्लॉक क्रेडिट्स में आता है क्योंकि 18% इज द इंटरेस्ट और आप आईटीसी मेंटेन बैलेंस नहीं करेंगे तो इंटरेस्ट आपका लगेगा. और अगर आप आईटीसी मेंटेन करते हैं तो यू कैन ऑलवेज लिटिगेट, बट वो आपको हिट करेंगे, ऑडिट में ब्लॉक में आ जाएगा.
तो दूसरा क्वेश्चन था कि हम लोग इंपोर्ट के केस में एक बार भूल गए थे लास्ट टाइम कि इंपोर्ट का आईजीएसटी लेने के लिए इनपुट, तो हम लोग नेक्स्ट ईयर ले सकते हैं क्या उसका?
नहीं, विद इन द टाइम लिमिट है तो ले सकते हैं.
Within 2 years?
कॉलम से नो. सी एनी
Because we
क्रेडिट
forgot before this September, next September.
सितंबर है, वो अभी नवंबर हो गया है.
हाँ.
इवन प्रीवियस का भी 16(4) सेक्शन 16(4) हिट होता है, उसको 30 नवंबर कर दिया गया है. और इसीलिए कर दिया गया है क्योंकि आपका एनुअल रिटर्न दिसंबर में, इसीलिए उन्होंने 30/11 तक खींचा है. इसीलिए आप देखेंगे कि अक्टूबर का रिटर्न लोग डिले करते हैं.
हाँ.
क्योंकि सीए के पास भेजते हैं, सीए काउंटर चेक करता है और आता है. तो अगर टाइम लिमिट में है, बिकॉज आई डू नॉट नो द इश्यू, यू कैन ऑलवेज टेक इट.
After exceeding that limit?
एक्सीडिंग दैट लिमिट 16(4) में ऑफिसर आपको नहीं बोलेगा, लेकिन आप रिविजिट कीजिए 16(4). सी व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू, एज एन ऑफिसर, एक्स डिपार्टमेंटल ऑफिसर, आपको भी ये ज्ञान होना चाहिए. आपका सीए ने बोल दीजिए, आई एम सॉरी सीए जुल्फी आर सिटिंग हियर, कि सीए ने बोल दीजिए आप ब्लाइंड मत ये कीजिए. ओनर्स, डायरेक्टर्स, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड that they have to concentrate on the core business. If you are an employee, you have got a career to go. तो आप पढ़िए 16(4) में आईजीएसटी जो इंपोर्ट में बैठता है, माने आता है, उसका टाइम लिमिट नहीं है, तो आप ले सकते हैं. 16(4) में लोकल टैक्सेस का है, आईजीएसटी के बारे में नहीं है. बताइए. नमस्कार सर, बोला. Everything fine till now?
Is ITC applicable for office or factory civil maintenance, like repairing,
Yeah.
painting,
See,
something like that?
See, generally ये सब पॉइंट्स ऑडिटर्स लेते हैं. ऑडिट यही देखता है कि कंस्ट्रक्शन का मटेरियल है, उसका रिपेयर्स है, मेंटेनेंस है, लेना नहीं चाहिए. मेरा क्वेश्चन है सर, क्या ये मेंटेनेंस चार्जेस वो आप कैपिटलाइज कर रहे हैं। अगर आप रेवेन्यू में डाल रहे हैं तो बिंदास लीजिए। रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर है तो यू कैन टेक दिस 17.5 is only talking about capitalization. लेकिन as I said, I answered this gentleman also. What we are saying, maintaining peace with the department. जब वो ऑडिट में आते हैं 10 पॉइंट निकालते हैं, अगर 6 पॉइंट छोड़ना है, विच इज लॉजिकल, आई एम नॉट अंडरलाइंग एनी रॉन्ग इंटेंशन, 6 पॉइंट है ही नहीं, वो ऐसा ही लिया है, वो 6 पॉइंट के लिए अगर आप नहीं लेते हैं इतना क्रेडिट और कम होता है वो, तो फर्गो। ज्यादा अमाउंट है तो मैं मानता हूं सर, ज्यादा अमाउंट है तो मानता हूं, नहीं तो आप फर्गो कीजिए। अगर यही एक पॉइंट है तो आप लिटिगेट कीजिए, यू विल गेट द क्रेडिट, देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ नॉट गेटिंग, यू विल विन इट।
Recently, I have taken membership of TMIA Recreation Club.
Recreation club, block credit, sir.
And how about one more question?
Recreation club you said, that is why I am saying block credit. अगर TMIA का आप सब्सक्रिप्शन भर रहे हैं,
क्या चार्ज GST?
TMIA का नॉर्मल आप सब्सक्रिप्शन लेते हैं तो मैं बोलेगा यस, बट आप रिक्रिएशन क्लब का है तो पर्सनल कंजम्पशन है, नहीं मिलेगा सर।
One more question. GST on residential rental.
आप भर रहे हैं कि आप ले रहे हैं, माने रेंटल दे रहे हैं कि ले रहे हैं?
रेंट पे दे रहे हैं।
दे रहे हैं ना, तो आपका कुछ उसमें है ही नहीं। सामने वाले का अगर रेजिडेंशियल प्रॉपर्टी है और वो लिंक टू बिजनेस है तो वो भरेगा आरसीएम में, आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, आपको जीएसटी चार्ज भी नहीं करना है, करोड़ों रुपया होगा तो।
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Myself, Vaibhav Saraf. One more question. I am purchasing at 0.1 and by mistake
That
sold
I wanted
export.
to talk about that. That's an important tip that I wish to give you. हाँ बोलिए, 0.1%.
And export at 18% by mistake and shipping bill is generated and also file return. What should I do now?
0.1%, do you know? When you are a merchant exporter, पहले CT1 हुआ करता था, तो अभी वो नहीं है, फिर भी they want to continue, तो 0.1% में अगर IGST भरते हैं तो, और 0.05 + 0.5 अगर महाराष्ट्र से लेते हैं तो आप ले सकते हैं, बट stringent conditions are there. तो my first advice is आप मत लीजिए। दूसरा 0.1% का ये कंडीशन है till a particular period that you can export only under LUT. अगर आपने टैक्स भर के पे किया है तो 18% कस्टम्स आपको देगा ही नहीं, इवन दो यू पेड अ टैक्स, वो देगा ही नहीं, 0.1 भी नहीं देगा, बिकॉज वो बोलेगा आप LUT में ही करना चाहिए, डिबार्स यू। अभी अगर पोजीशन इफ आई एम नोइंग कि अभी वो अलाउ किया है, टैक्स भर सकते हैं, तो आप सेक्शन 11 जो जाएंगे उसमें यही लिखता है कि आप अपने आप ज्यादा टैक्स नहीं भर सकते। अगर दूध में 0 है, कल वारना उसको 5% नहीं चार्ज कर सकता है। अगर स्पाइस में 5% है, द जेंटलमैन बिकॉज आईटीसी पड़ी है, बादाम का 12% पड़ा है, वो स्पाइस को 12% में नहीं निकाल सकता है, ठीक है? तो इसीलिए कस्टम्स उसको रिजेक्ट करेगा, सेक्शन 11 ऑफ द सेंट्रल जीएसटी एक्ट कोट करके बोलेगा यू आर नॉट अलाउड। बताइए, एक तो मैं इवन इफ यू आर मर्चेंट एक्सपोर्टर आई से क्या 0.1 में मत लीजिए, बिकॉज एवरी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज ऑन दैट पुअर मैन्युफैक्चरर जो आपको सप्लाई देता है, तो वो आपके पीछे भागता रहेगा, क्योंकि 90 डेज में आपको एक्सपोर्ट करना है, वेयर हाउस में है तो डायरेक्ट वेयर हाउस का एड्रेस रहना है, आप डायरेक्ट या तो डायरेक्ट पोर्ट में ही जाना है, आप बीच में कहीं रख नहीं सकते, रख सकते हैं तो रजिस्टर्ड वेयर हाउस में एक एंट्री आनी है, और रजिस्टर में एंट्री आनी है, उसका आपको जेरोक्स मार के ऑफिसर को देना है। I told you, why I am telling you, you may feel that it is stringent. Government considers ITC violation as more stringent than आप कोई आइटम को निकालेंगे बिना टैक्स का, उसको परवाह नहीं है, स्ट्रिंजेंट नहीं है, क्योंकि आईटीसी ऐसा मामला है कि टैक्स उसके जेब में आ गया है। गवर्नमेंट के जेब में आ गया है, और यदि आप उसका वायलेशन करेंगे तो गवर्नमेंट बहुत, it takes a very strict action. If you are entitled that, for example, I buy a cake, I go to BR, I sell there, ठीक है, IGST भर दिया, उसके जेब, BR के सरकार के जेब में आ गया, वो वहां से कलकत्ता लेके गया, वहां बेचा, और वो अल्टीमेट सेल हो गया, वो परमानेंटली आ गया कोलकाता के, वेस्ट बंगाल के जेब में, उसका कोई चोरी होता है ITC का। B2C का मैं बोला ना, उसको तो मिल गया अपने जेब में, B2C में कहां पास ऑन करता है? You collect tax, don't collect tax, you are not passed, it is over. So ITC में 0.1% का, you have to be very careful कि वो government has foregone minimum 4.9% or 11.9% or 17.9% or 27.9% if your items are falling under this bracket. So it is almost also lost that tax. इसीलिए वो बहुत careful रहना पड़ता है उसमें। 41/17 of CGST and 40 of 2000 are very stringent. People are not taking it lightly, लेकिन 50,000 का पेनल्टी पड़ते रहता है। And if the officer is cranky, हर एक्सपोर्ट का लेगा, हर एक्सपोर्ट बिल ऑफ एंट्री का लेगा 50,000। So you have to be careful wherever ITC comes, the horn should be triggered, please. बताइए।
Just one small query. A Maharashtra registered taxpayer giving services in Calcutta with people coming from outside Indian jurisdiction. So, उसमें what the GST?
What is the purpose of you telling me, sir, that they are coming from foreign engineers?
No, a couple of years back, I did organize a conference where all the participants were from Bangladesh, and it happened in Calcutta.
No, they are participants, no?
They are participants. I
So
mean, they are end users.
They are end users. You must have charged a subscription fee.
Yes.
And because the event is happening there, you must have charged.
Yes.
What did you charge?
I charged in Indian rupees.
No.
I mean,
Tax.
tax, I charged IGST.
You charge IGST.
Huh.
You cannot charge IGST.
Oh.
You have to take registration there and pay C+S.
Okay.
See, that's what the place of supply. These things come very rare. The place of supply decides what tax has to be done. But don't be worried. We have got rulings which say that when a person from a different state gives a service to a person in a property which is located in a different state, he can charge I also. ऐसा rulings है. But strictly going, C+SC charge करना है. Kolkata, West Bengal GST plus CGST has to be charged by taking registration as a casual taxable person if you are only doing it once or twice.
It is but it was, it was only once.
So you can take a registration as a casual taxable person.
Okay. It was a B2B service, but participants were
then that वो लोग कहीं से भी आने तो हमको क्या है? You are providing the service to B2B और आपने आई चार्ज कर दिया ना, जाने दीजिए. Rest assured. But any happening, you have to be very careful and see the place of supply.
Thank you.
One more question, sir. In case of ITC 04 job worker, please explain me, it is bound to be a file ITC 04 or any other time limit for the particular?
मैंने अभी कुछ हाफ ईयरली कर दिया ना उसको, हमारे टाइम में क्वार्टरली था. कुछ आप तो क्या है आपका क्वेरी?
जॉब वर्कर के लिए कंपलसरी, मतलब हम लोग
ITC 4 तो आपको करना ही है.
04 is compulsory.
Again, I have told you, anything related to ITC आप ट्रिगर हो जाइए, because government has earned money on the जो आपने खरीदा है, वो यहाँ से आप निकाल रहे हैं.
ITC 04 regarding job worker.
नहीं, I'm telling job worker ना. ठीक है ना? तो आप निकाल रहे हैं माल कि आप आ रहा है आपके पास जॉब, क्या है बोल रहे हैं आप?
जॉब, हाँ, वहां से मैन्युफैक्चर होके हमारे पास आ रहा है।
बराबर
On
है ना?
behalf of us,
They are manufacturing. You are into pharma industry,
no, in manufacturing of fruit pulp.
fruit pulp. तो आप उसको पैकिंग मटेरियल भी देते हो,
Yeah.
आप उसको पल्प भी देते हो,
पल्प नहीं, फ्रूट देते हैं।
नहीं जो फ्रूट भी देते हो। आपने एक मशीन भी दिया है क्या उधर रखने के लिए कि वो लोग वो करते हैं? तो उनका जॉब चार्जेस में मशीन का कॉस्ट, लेबर का कॉस्ट आता है, लेकिन मटेरियल इधर टू वेज, इधर यू टेल कि आप यही आदमी से लेना है फ्रूट, यही आदमी आपको पैकिंग मटेरियल देगा, तो आप बिल टू शिप टू होगा या आपके पास आएगा, आप देते हैं। तो गवर्नमेंट हैज ऑलरेडी अर्नड टैक्स ऑन दैट पैकिंग मटेरियल एंड पल्प। तो जब आप बेचते हैं, आप खाली ई वे बिल में बेचते हैं, देयर इज नो टैक्स कंपोनेंट, आर यू पेइंग एनीथिंग? माल जब जाता है,
Yeah, in local case, there is a chargeable.
हाँ?
If it is
नहीं, आप
export,
जॉब वर्क के लिए करते हैं तो क्यों बेचते हैं, क्यों आप टैक्स भर के बेचते हैं?
जॉब वर्कर के लिए मतलब वहां से आता है तो हम लोग तो बेचते समय तो टैक्स लगा के बेचते हैं।
मैं बोल रहा हूँ आईटीसी का आईटीसी 4 क्यों महत्व है, क्योंकि वो पल्प में टैक्स लग चुका है,
बराबर।
पैकिंग में लग चुका है,
नहीं,
और वो आप डिलीवरी चलान प्लस ई वे बिल में बेचते हैं।
उसमें
अगर
tax नहीं।
उसमें टैक्स नहीं है, तो गवर्नमेंट का मन में रहता ना कि भाई मेरा मटेरियल गया, मेरा टैक्स उधर गया, मेरा टैक्स गया, कुछ हो तो नहीं रहा है। तो इसीलिए आईटीसी 4 में उसको ट्रैक रखने की उसको मिलती है कि भाई आपने फ्रूट पर 200 किलो भेजा, 198 किलो वापिस आया क्योंकि वर्कर ने 2 किलो नीचे गिराया, या ट्रेड लॉस है, इवापोरेट होता है, कुछ होता है, तो उतना टॉलरेंस लिमिट है, तो वो आया तो वो 2 किलो का उसका आईटीसी कहाँ गया, तो वो बोलेगा 17 सेक्शन 17 हिट होएगा। एनीथिंग लॉस्ट, डिस्ट्रॉयड, गिवन फ्री सैंपल्स, आईटीसी हैज टू बी रिवर्स्ड। इसीलिए आईटीसी 4 अगर आप नहीं डालेंगे तो 50,000 का पेनाल्टी मार रहे हैं, बी केयरफुल, और आप कहीं भी भाग नहीं सकते हैं unless there is an amnesty scheme. And amnesty schemes have come in plenty. अभी एक माइनर के लिए आएगा, वो कब आएगा मालूम, बट दे आर थिंकिंग ऑफ ब्रिंगिंग वन फॉर माइनर. व्हाट इज माइनर? यू विल हैव टू गो टू सेक्शन 126 आई थिंक, उसमें आप जाएंगे तो आपको मालूम पड़ेगा व्हाट इज माइनर इश्यूज. Can we finish here and take their questions if Selvi is there?
Selvi, how many questions you have still pending?
Hello.
Selvi, how many questions you have pending on online?
There is only one question which I am not sure whether is a question or a statement also.
No, tell.
Yeah,
Please,
the
let us
question
know.
regarding double issuance of e-way bill by the buyers can be raised for solutions. He's asked it as Mr. Rahul Khandelwal has asked it as a question. I requested him, what is it? Can he be more clear? But no response as yet.
No, double issuance of e-way bills होता नहीं है ऐसा. For a same consignment 2 बार, unless it is expired. आपने इश्यू कर दिया, सडन से गाड़ी वाला बोला मैं नहीं आने वाला हूँ, हो गया, टाइम लिमिट हो गया, तो आपने पहले को कैंसिल करना है और दूसरा इश्यू करना है. एक ही कंसाइनमेंट के लिए अगर डबल ई वे बिल इश्यू कर रहे हैं तो गवर्नमेंट विल से आप 2 बार माल निकालें. बी वेरी केयरफुल ऑन दैट.
And one question which we had taken up, but we did not get clarification, that was from Parmeshwar Menon. Can startups get some refund on GST during their initial years? And when I questioned him, he have written that we have registered for GST in the year of incorporation, but the billings have started in the second year only. So my question was directed to that.
See, there is startups, if they are exporting, then the question of refund comes. For any local activities that you do, there is no refund, but the outward tax liability can be set off by the input tax liability. That is the only way. The other things all lapse. So if he is a startup who is going to exporter, that will remain in his ECL, and whenever he starts billing, he has the option of paying that and take refund of IGST. If it is services, I am sure startup service hai, so from us, from the GST department. If it is supply of goods, then he will take it from customs department, or he can alternatively take an LUT, export it, and take the refund of the ITC lying in his register from the jurisdictional officers.
That's it from my side, sir. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, thank you, Selby, and thank you, sir. I think this Pathshala has gone to almost 2 hours plus, but we've had a good interaction. I think everyone, we've had almost over 55 participants in this Pathshala, online as well as physical. I thank everyone who has come here physically because you all have taken the effort, and also all those who logged in online. Like we said, this is going to be every fortnight affair. The next one would be probably in the week commencing 14th of July. We will tell you the exact date and what will be the topics covered. But this is a regular feature that we are going to start off with. And so please encourage your other people in the business to either come physically or come online and get your queries solved. In fact, I think sir has been brilliant. I don't see any area where he has not gone to the absolute bare details and explained everything. And of course, if you want more specific, you can go to him offline and connect with him. So thank you very much for all of you, and thank you very much, sir. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, and you've really conducted the Pathshala as an absolute passionate teacher and someone who really loves his subject. And even all of us who are probably non-GST practitioners, at least we're not the actual ones doing it, but it's been a learning experience for us also. So thank you so much, Mr. Khadilkar. You want to say something before we sort of close off?
Yeah, actually, it was a great initiative by Mr. Natarajan on his own way, that I want to come forward and share my experiences on whatever the ideas we have, and with all fellow IMC members. So it is a good initiative, and I will see that some more technical experts, if we get to know and get this kind of arrangement, then we will able to do this sessions repeatedly and for the particular purposes also. Thank you very much, and thanks for coming all the way. It was a very nice interactive session.
As a token of IMC's appreciation, a little bit from IMC to you. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure, and we look forward to the next session of the Pathshala. And I think business, industry, and everyone connected would definitely gain. And please, I would like to tell all your connects in industry that IMC now has got a IMC Pathshala on GST. Every fortnight will be held, and I don't think you could have a better expert than Mr. Natarajan to answer queries. At the same time, if you're very specific, you've got someone who can help you out. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you.